Welcome back to Snake Eater. Anyway, let's check our map.
And after the unconsensual consumption of reptiles.
Woodland tiger stripe.
Alright, map screen. This is actually one thing, that's actually one thing that I can mention because I recently started recording Metal Gear Solid 4. The map screen is fine in this game, but Metal Gear Solid 4's map system is much better. Alright, let's talk to Paramedic, because we actually forgot to save. I forgot about this. We actually forgot to save at the end of the previous part. Okay, basically, sure. Remember how at in the Metal Gear Solid 2, every time we save, we have Rose, and every time we saved in Metal Gear Solid 1, we had Mei Ling give us some kind of Chinese proverb or something? Mm-hmm. Well, obviously we need our save person to also have her own distinct quirk for this game. So let's see what hers is.
Alright.
She refuses to save, and if that causes a game over.
There you go. Let's save the game, and there you go.
You know, Dwibs, you probably would love working on.
You ever heard of Godzilla, King of Monsters?
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's a movie. You haven't seen it?
Yep, actual footage.
It's about this monster called Godzilla, who grows to an enormous size.
It's
like, lady, I'm a soldier. I don't have time to go to...
He's about to say that, actually.
Then the Marshall Islands must be crawling with giant monsters right about now.
It's just make-believe.
Yeah.
Maybe that's
what in this world.
Snake, it's a movie, not a report out of Los Alamos.
Again, these people had no idea just how crazy their world would get in the future.
Has no way to stop the monster. Dr. Shirazawa develops a new type of weapon.
Oxygen destroyer.
Godzilla's getting closer and closer to Tokyo.
Godzilla's approaching the generator. The generator is losing power.
Alright.
This one. American version too. I recommend seeing the original Japanese one if you ever get a chance.
Same.
Hell yeah.
Same.
It's mostly mindless fun, but it's also got a serious anti-nuke message as well.
Where can I see the original?
You'll just have to go to Japan.
Really? That's too bad.
Again, just wait for the future.
Able to see it in America too.
Son of a...
2004 will be Godzilla's 50th birthday.
You think?
For the record, Shiro, 2004 is the year this game came out.
Of course. Everybody loves Godzilla.
You sure know a lot about movies.
They did slow the pace, admittedly, but they still continue to do movies in Japan about Godzilla still.
When the going gets tough, movies can save your life.
You know, give Japan this, they
and there you go.
Something good.
And there you go. Paramedic is basically Kojima's mouthpiece for talking about his favorite films and why he loves them.
Make a nice distraction.
Gee, what a shock.
The spirit, Snake.
You know, I will say this. Kudos to Japan for making something good out of Gino.
Alright, boss.
Camouflage is an indispensable tool when you're sneaking through the jungle. To use camouflage, first press the start button to go to the survival viewer. Then select camouflage and press the enter button. Select uniform to select battle fatigues, and face to select face paint. Choose battle fatigues that match the surrounding environment. The most effective camouflage is attained by selecting fatigues that blend in with the environment. Camouflage patterns that stand out in your surroundings will attract attention.
Of course.
Okay, then.
Like run around like a fucking clown in the jungle.
Okay, Major, a little reminder of what we're supposed to do.
Should be at the abandoned factory to the north, so head in that direction.
Alright, thanks.
If we ever get a Metal Gear Solid 6, which I doubt, how about have like a codec frequency, a very specific one? If you accidentally press that one, it basically suicides you, blows you up or something.
Jesus.
You're not making the game, so...
Thank
okay. I would say I should be, but A, stealth isn't really my thing, and B, how do you guys think an LGS game made by me would turn out?
Simple. It would be very much like your playthrough Red Faction.
For kill all the civilians.
Yes.
But don't, Pedro, what are you saying? There's literally no consequences for killing, slaughtering people.
Okay, so, like I was saying...
Mateo, your rank!
Yes, Pedro?
like I was saying, this game is finally incorporates that original concept from Metal Gear Solid 1 of taking place in a jungle, and it involves being careful of crocodiles, taking care of swamps, all that good stuff. So, and the game does a great job in creating such a really good jungle atmosphere.
Just go to sleep, Mr. Dial.
Yeah. Might as well give it a little reminder to make this playthrough a bit more self-contained compared to the previous one. Reminder that okay, so here's why. I think it allows me to tell the rest of the story. As I said in our Metal Gear Solid 2 run, Kojima originally wanted to end things at Metal Gear Solid 2, but since people wanted more, he asked for a volunteer from his team. There you go. Snake is dead. Now, Shiroi, here's a problem though. Okay.
Snake!
Yeah.
With a very sexy game over screen.
Alright.
Yep.
Okay.
It's my favorite game over theme.
Here's the problem, guys. Big Boss is not supposed to die here. That would kind of create a time paradox, which is why everybody, like you might have shown, every time you get a game over in this game, it also says time paradox, and we'll get back to this. Anyway,
that's not the best time paradox game over. I think you're going to show that, if I know you well enough.
Yes, of course.
It's one more famous moment, but gone.
Well, actually, I'll wait till everybody's here. Go on.
In that case, I can mention, I guess also some potential reincorporation from older elements. Like, for example, your radar is technically gone for the time being.
Remember, this was before the Soliton radar was invented, so for Metal Gear Solid 3, you cannot rely on the radar the same way you've been relying. This game kind of feels like it's more for throwback to the original Metal Gear, where you have to rely more on your senses and to get around and try to not get caught.
You can argue that these quick sense, for example, are a bit more reminiscent from the trapdoors from the first game. So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And yes, of course, we need to showcase how good our graphics is by having, Snake having the bottom part still covered in mud when he gets out.
Indeed.
I think correctly, these affects also your camouflage, because that percentage on the top right corner is always varies depending on the actions you take and what you wield.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Dare I ask what's your favorite skin to use?
Well, actually, the one I'm using right now, I prefer his default outfit personally.
That's fair.
That being said, no, I always recommend making good use of the camouflage, basically. So, all right, let's carry on.
I noticed something.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you don't have a radar, so you can't rely on that. You have to be a lot more careful, pay a lot more attention to your surroundings to make sure you're not caught.
Okay, to be honest, about what someone said earlier about me basically turning Metal Gear Solid into a civilian hunting ground. Hitman is that pretty much, except more obviously you get penalized if you kill civilians.
Mm-hmm.
Hence why we compared it more to Red Faction, because no, Red Faction doesn't give a freak if you do that.
Basically, yeah. Yeah.
In regards to Metal Gear, of course, like I mentioned, the rankings, especially if you want that good old Big Boss ranking, which is ironic because, again, in order to get the Big Boss rankings, you have to go it without killing anyone who's not opting to be killed.
There's more to it. I'm actually going for a no-kill run. Like, I'm going to kill as few people as possible. There's actually a good reason why I'm doing it, aside from the ranking. So, all right, let's hunt this snake down. Where are you?
It's Snake versus Snake.
Yes.
There it is, slithering there.
The duel of the snakes, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, might as well continue. Okay, like I said before, in our Metal Gear Solid 2 run, Kojima originally wanted to retire from the series after 2. However, of course, feeling sympathetic for his fan base, he decided to continue more. So he decided, okay, one of you guys will take over for me for Metal Gear. Who wants to do it? Nobody raised their hand, like I said last time. So Kojima was all like, okay. So here's what Kojima did. He went back and reflected a bit. Okay, why am I tired of Metal Gear exactly? After doing some reflection, he realized, no, it's not so much that I'm tired of Metal Gear. It's more so that I'm tired. It's more so that I'm kind of done with Solid Snake. In my mind, I feel like I've done what I wanted with Solid Snake. So he just thought, you know what I could do? Maybe I could start a prequel series where I tell the story of Big Boss. As he would later even say in interviews that Big Boss is actually his favorite MGS protagonist over Solid Snake. So basically he decided, okay, I'll make a prequel with Big Boss in it, and that's what we have here.
I'm guessing that Metal Gear...
Interesting again is a gamble, because again, aside from these passive dialogue and the recap that you got, not many people in the West had a complete clear idea who even Big Boss was.
Yeah, because basically, Shiroi, the first time ever that most Western people even played the original 2 8-bit games was when it was released. They were released as a bonus feature of this game, specifically the 2005 re-release with Subsistence. So basically, Shiroi, most of us haven't even played the original 2 games before 2005. So
now, to Metal Gear's credit, Metal Gear Solid 1 did do a relatively good job in hyping up Big Boss, but yeah, the thing is, if you were American, let's see, you had Big Boss in the first Metal Gear game where, as far as you know, he dies, but somehow comes back from the dead. Believe it or not, that actually gets explained in Metal Gear Solid 5 of all things.
The original Metal Gear from 87, that game actually did get a European release, but it was a very limited one that it might as well not even count.
And look, not many people really had an MSX.
Yeah, combined with the fact that the platform was not exactly, a big seller outside of Japan.
It was for the Ouya.
So basically, yeah, for all intents and purposes, the first major Western release. Not to mention, if you actually look up the original European release, the translation is not great.
Choppy, I guess.
Have any of you guys played the 3DS version of this game?
No,
I know, but it only has...
I have. It's okay. I appreciate the ambition, but the frame rate.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Wait, they tried to put this on the 3DS?
Remember, Shiroi,
Yes.
during the launch window of the 3DS, they tried to... Hold on, no intro next game. Yeah, I think we're about to get one of the memes from this. Yeah.
Alright, Shiro, you might have seen this upcoming image in a moment.
There we go.
Press R1 or R button to, so you can use the...
They're probably KGB troops sent to guard Sokolov.
AK-47s and grenades.
Huh.
Snake, your presence in Soviet territory is already a violation
Yeah,
of
we kind of got
international law.
that,
You can't let the
Major.
Kremlin find out that the CIA and the American government are involved. Contact with the enemy is strictly prohibited. Don't engage them in battle either. This is a stealth mission. Got that?
The Major is right. The point
that
of this
leaves
mission is to sneak through the jungle without being seen. The success
I'm glad I'm
of the
not playing
mission will
mainline
help
Metal
you
Gear
use
game.
All right,
Change your
American
camouflage
flag
by
mask it
selecting
is.
America!
Camouflage.
No. Put on the Union Jack instead. Then they'll never know America was here.
But we're one of America's biggest allies.
Oh god, the irony.
But yeah, like I was saying, if you actually look up on YouTube the original European English release of Metal Gear 1, let's just say the translation is not great. So you I definitely recommend playing the versions that are included in MGS3, because they got a better translation that was supervised by Kojima Productions.
Remind
The
me.
camo
Did,
index
I'm
shows
sorry,
how
go
well
on.
you
And not to mention Metal Gear 2 Solid, that was the first time Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake got released outside of Japan to begin with, so you might as well just go for MGS free. You have to play MGS free either way because that's the only way you get to play an English version of 2, so might as well go for MGS free and ignore the original 87 European release at that point.
Remind me, was Big Boss in Metal Gear 2 Snake's Revenge?
I think it was a cyborg in that.
So I guess if you're American,
You mean it's not
Big
called
Boss
it's just called Snake's Revenge, by the way. It doesn't have the Metal Gear name in it, but yes, he was. But he was just a giant robot in that.
a cyborg, yeah. So I guess technically by the American version, Big Boss did have some presence here and
Well,
there.
But they had.
Keep in mind, Jova, when I say
That's like saying, Jova, that nobody played any Street Fighter game and the only field of reference is Street Fighter 2010.
also keep in mind, Jova, when I say the original 2 Metal Gear games, I mean the ones that were actually made by Kojima and his team. So.
Oh, that's fair.
True.
But again, I'm going off of like, well, what people overseas would have had to go off of.
Oh yeah.
Not knowing about.
Well, keep in
Metal
mind,
Gear
Jova,
Solid.
Snake's Revenge was only a US thing, if I remember correctly. I don't think Snake's Revenge came out in Europe, if I remember correctly, but I might be wrong.
I will check right.
But even if it was, I mean, combined with the fact that Metal Gear wasn't popular yet, and the fact that the NES was nowhere near as popular in Europe as it was in America, yeah, not a lot of Europeans played it. Go on, Dibs.
It did get a European release almost 2 years after it came out in North America. North America got it in April 1990. Europe got it on the 26th of March 1992.
Yeah, by that point, most people had moved on to the Mega Drive and the Super Nintendo, so I can imagine probably it didn't do that well.
Regardless, though, like, well, everyone overseas got Snake's Revenge as the sequel until Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake.
The point
got a
still,
proper
Jova, that it
release.
was basically not reliable information. Like, at best, the original Big Boss was distorted beyond belief.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say distorted beyond belief, but it was definitely not nearly as fleshed out as Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake really pumps things up. So, I would say this. I feel like they definitely had a better shot going in with this than, what happened with Metal Gear Solid 2, essentially, because it's a snake. He resembles Solid Snake. Sounds like him, too, so that was already a good start. And Big Boss did at least have standing as being our big boss in charge in the first game.
Let me explain this.
Betrayed us.
CQC, it was created by both of them. Okay, basically, CQC stands for Close Quarters Combat, and it's basically a new mechanic that is still that has been used in every Metal Gear game since then, where you can do some physical stuff like throwing them, like you can even grab the enemy and point a gun to him to use him as a hostage. You can interrogate him for information. Basically all kinds of physical aggression towards the soldiers.
To grab your opponent with your right hand.
I do wonder how much this game influenced, the development for Metal Gear Solid 4. Because like I said, Metal Gear Solid 4 ended up being a massive retconning of Metal Gear Solid 2. But part of me is wondering if that was always the plan, or if they did that more so to match up with Metal Gear Solid 3
as Pedro
and
mentioned
portable
before
options
about the
later
backstory of this,
established.
Kojima did not even really wanted to move on, despite the fact that previous games did have a door open. So,
Oh, I know that. What I do recall, though, is that there's somewhere that Metal Gear Solid 4, or at least what would eventually become Metal Gear Solid 4, was sort of also in development around the same time
hold
as
on.
well.
Yeah, you can tap the CQC button to choke out the enemy, and you can use it to knock him out. You can also even strangle him to death.
You can move around while keeping
hopefully with less jerky movement.
By pressing the button, you can aim your currently equipped weapon at another enemy. With their comrade acting as a human shield, the enemy will be reluctant to attack.
That's right. The AI will actually be reluctant to fire at you if you're using a human shield.
Keeping in mind, this is something that is always consistent about Metal Gear, specifically starting with Metal Gear Solid 2. The AI of the enemies is amazing. Like it's
On point.
The highest point, of course, being Phantom Pain, where the AI in that game is just. Whew.
realistic horse poop reaction.
Yes.
Yes, that's a thing.
No, I already.
I saw the trailer. I saw the trailer.
No, Shiroi knows. I already showed Shiroi the slipping, the car slipping on the horse poop. So.
But to answer you from before, Shirin, basically at the launch window, at the very least of the 3DS, Nintendo engaged a couple of third-party companies in order to hype up the gimmick of the having released a bunch of titles that had free in them, so they can cash on the fact that it's free, but it's in 3D. Oh shit!
Oh snap!
There was Rayman 3. There was this. I think there was a. No, not Bomberman. There was at least another title. Street Fighter 4, for some reason, had a 3DS version. Don't know why.
God, how crusty did this game look?
Also, wow.
Very crusty.
Wow. Also, wow, guys. I love these American-sounding Soviets we got here.
It makes it more convenient.
Yeah, Hitman, at least in the first game, did that as well. We had people from Thailand and Japan sound like they're American.
Be thankful that it doesn't. Be thankful it doesn't try to sound like an actual Russian dub, because instead it would be just the English dub with someone with no acting talent talking over it.
Yeah, I know. I don't get that either.
I don't know why the audience, tends to like that, because it sounds so sterile.
It's
like you might as well try. Yeah, not necessarily professional, but again, if that's their thing, I guess there's an audience for it. But I don't know. I think they deserve better.
Part of me wonders if, like, this is, well, okay. Obviously, a lot of the AI personnel have similar voices. My guess is that it was done to save on cost.
I can tell you, Dwebs, that Phantom Pain fixes that. Because in Phantom Pain, they actually have the Afghanistan soldiers actually speak Afghanistanese. So
again, my best guess is well, again, this is the typical dialogue you'll be hearing for a lot of AI mooks throughout the game. So my guess is they did it to essentially save on the budget. Again, that's my best guess.
I personally don't mind them keeping the English voices for just for the sake of making it easier to follow what's going on, especially for people who might not be as good at reading subtitles like Shiroi. So it makes it can have its advantages.
Oh, okay. Usually, whenever something like this happens, my headcanon is
I think it's now actually. Yeah, it's now. Sure, you might have already seen this on the internet.
Oh.
There it is!
I think Nick is enjoying his job a bit too much.
You don't Animal Crossing him.
Let's just say, Dwibs, he knows something's up with those bugs, and for once, it's in our favor.
Bees, my god.
Yeah.
You could say there is a deadly bee weapon. Oh god,
I think they mentioned that even a codec, so I don't know if they're wasp, bees, or hornets. Still, also, there's a plushie on top of the bridge.
Right.
Like, just looking at the net specifically, I think that's either wasp or hornet.
And not just plushie, it's a Frogger plushie.
Yeah, basically, it's a collectible. You can find Frogger plushies and even shoot them and they'll make noises.
Because getting
my god!
He's a plushie guy.
It's also because ideally, at least at this point, Frogger was the flagship mascot of Konami.
Okay. There's two guys coming from the bridge, so let's hide and wait for them.
Is there someone sleeping?
No, wrong, Shiri. This man is deceased. But Pedro used.
Well, let me the tranquilizer gun. Basically, Shiri, I'm going for a no-kill run in this game. Why specifically? It will become clear way later. Well, there is that too. There's that too. Yes, but there are actual. Well, not my fault. No.
He's just sleeping.
Not my fault.
Not my fault. I mean, I just put him to sleep. He just happened to fall after.
Story reasons, I guess.
Yes, you'll see, Shiroi. You'll see.
I wouldn't be too surprised if Toby Fox had this as a mechanic in.
Let's just say, Shiroi. Kojima's secretly judging the way you play this game.
I will say this.
Toby did say he was inspired. Like, he told Kojima directly he was inspired by him. So
oh yeah. Probably. Trust me.
Kojima science confirmed.
Yes.
You may. Shut up. You may recall. You may recall that I talked about this a bit during our Metal Gear Solid 2 run, but the big boss rank in that game, one of its requirements is that you essentially do a no-kill run. Now, back then, I hypothesized on whether this was Kojima's plan all along, or if that was just a game mechanic. What I'm going at here is that I wonder if the story in this game may have actually have been influenced by that game mechanic in Metal Gear Solid 2.
Actually.
Or Kojima actually had planned out this arc for Big Boss in some way, shape, or form. Like, evidently not as the game, but I digress.
Let's not forget, Jova, that MGS2 story is directly influenced by the existence of the VR mission, you know, in the first one.
Yep.
Tia, you mentioned
Cutscene
earlier.
Hold on, Jeeves.
Alright.
You mentioned Vroga earlier. I think Bomber might be I'm thinking now.
Factory where Sokolov is supposedly being held. This place is a dump.
It checks out, I guess.
Yeah. Soviet Cold War.
Security is pretty tight.
It could be a trick. Or they
Hey, it's
could
a
be
version
guarding
for Resident
something
Evil
or
4.
someone. Oh my god. If only we had something that can,
Your
like,
objective,
scan
Sokolov, is inside the
areas.
factory. They should be holding him in a room in the
What
northeast.
garden mean?
Got it.
So there you go, that's where he is.
Careful. Your mission is to bring Sokolov back alive. He must not be exposed to any kind of danger. And do not approach Sokolov while in the alert phase.
Obviously.
Right.
Oh, and one more thing, Snake.
You mean there's more?
No, it's just that when you get to Sokolov, I want you to tell him something from me.
You owe me $50.
Sorry,
wanker.
I'm so late.
Is that all?
Yes.
Understood.
Sorry for being so late. Okay.
I'm gonna put a spin on it. Something like, kept you waiting, huh?
Steak.
That was not the message I
Steak.
asked.
You
Also,
will
one thing-
deliver the message as instructed.
Well, not necessarily for the time being, because I think the rest is just codec. Something for the next part. Pay attention to, well, what is happening.
I
What
see
would
you
be
Hold on.
when it
captured
comes
a
to
giant anaconda. The
Sorry,
giant
I'm
anaconda is
snake.
believed to be the largest snake in the world in terms of weight and diameter.
yeah,
It's
tell
not
that to Ice
poisonous,
Cube.
but its large size makes it extremely powerful. They say it even eats crocodiles. Its only natural predator is man
And snake.
and snake.
Ha.
So how does it taste?
I knew you were going to ask me that.
I'm glad I didn't disappoint you. So,
Well, the guide says it tastes all right.
good. I'll have to try some.
Yummy.
Apparently they taste beefy or fishy.
Yes. Basically, Shiro, we can ask Paramedic for any trivia on any of the edible things we find. Like
I mentioned
articulated
in the past,
python.
Shiro,
Hold on, the
Articulated
tail.
python is
Sorry.
said to be the longest snake in the world. The biggest ones can grow up to 10 meters in length.
They're very hog
Although
friendly.
they're not poisonous, they're still very dangerous, so be careful around them. They have a
I remember
highly ferocious
my aunt
temperament
used to
and
have a
can
boa
swallow whole,
constrictor.
even
She had to
large
let him go
animals
when he
like deer
started
and pigs.
resting around her
Their
neck.
most distinguishing
Yeesh.
feature is the mesh pattern of their skins.
Yeah.
This pattern acts as a
I've held
highly
snakes.
effective natural camouflage. If you
Have you ever
think there
eaten
might be
one
a
of them?
articulated python about,
No, I
close
have not.
attention to
Again, I
your
mentioned
What's-
this in the past.
Otherwise,
One of
you
my
could
friends
get
actually went to
before you
Tunisia
even
and
got
did. It's roughly
Oh,
like.
but a real question: how do they taste,
Yeah.
Paramedic?
Taste good.
You're actually going to eat
So it
one.
is like fish.
Why else would I be asking?
Yeah, why else would he be asking?
So sure, what's the snake you held?
Hold on, you just called it a cannibal.
Ah, you're in luck. It says they taste pretty good.
Oh,
Good.
Cool.
I can hardly wait.
Ah,
I love how she keeps doing an ellipses every time he says that.
The cool thing is that even for some poisonous snakes,
Snake,
if
Sokolov
you actually
is
sever the
in the
head,
northeast
it's actually
area
still
of the
edible.
Got it.
what, the head or the body?
The body,
And don't
obviously, because
engage the
the
enemy.
tree it's like with a
Okay,
blowfish. You have to
mission
be more.
is to
If
bring
he,
Sokolov
you
back
know,
safely
you have to
and
be
nothing more.
careful of not.
Oh,
Contact Sokolov
attack the
without being
body.
spotted by the enemy.
I just wouldn't
Bring
take
him
the
out
risk
to treat.
personally.
If you must dispose of an enemy,
Paramedic's voice
do it
actress
with
was
the
also in a
tranquilizer.
Hitman game.
Well, there you go then.
Hitman
you
Blood
saying
Body.
something?
Speaking of,
Hitman
hold
Blood
on,
Body to be
because
exact.
speaking of, oh, actually no. Oh, the boss is not responding.
I guess she's
Huh.
busy.
I guess. All right.
Shiroi, I was about to ask, how friendly was the snake that you held?
Pretty friendly. It was a small snake.
All right.
Does it, like, lick affectionately?
Yeah, for some.
No, I just had it. I just had it on my shoulders.
All right, so let's ask paramedic to save and take a break.
Very good.
Let's see what what new movie she's gonna talk to us about.
Let's see, it's still the 60s, so...
James Bond.
Let me see if Mel Brooks
Oh.
was in. Huh?
Classic monster
These
movie.
scientists are investigating a place deep in the Amazon called the Black.
Oh, yeah.
So she likes kaiju movies.
No, she likes all kinds of movies, Shiroi, as you're going to
Classic
see.
Universal monster.
Just think of her as female Kojima. That's basically what she is.
What
You
year
know,
does
they,
this-
My heart was going to stop.
they literally
I
made
mean,
a
of
whole
course, the 3D
children's
effects
book
and pictures
series
from outer
based off of
space
that
were a lot
movie.
more intense, but
What year did this
It.
game
Wouldn't
take
you be
place?
referring to
1964.
face, would it?
Okay.
how rude! Why do you say that?
Because no one on Earth could be as charming as you.
What
Ah.
a,
I'll just get to
what a
it.
Casanova
Be
snake.
careful of what's around you when you're in the water.
Well,
imagine
you know,
if
Solid
one of
had to
those
get
giant
those
rivers was attacked by a
flirting
fishman.
genes from somewhere.
I appreciate the concern.
Fishmen aren't the only things that'll attack you in the water. Really be careful.
I
about
think we'll be safe, paramedic. Don't worry.
it. And don't be attacking any pretty girls going for a swim either.
Whoa, that.
Calling me a fish.
Yeah, are you calling me a fishman?
Yeah.
You
Going
start.
for a swim in a war zone.
I love that. I love that. You like that? Are you calling me a fishman? You started it. Like,
Well, someone-
what are you? What are you, paramedic? 10? Like,
well, since,
No, you.
well, since someone was asking about Mel Brooks earlier, there was a film from him that came out in 1967. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, the producers.
that being said, it's a bit too early for this. This game will mostly reference movies from the 1940s, 50s, and 60s, especially because she talks about movies that she wants to go see in theaters and shit like that. So, all right. There's one point where she mentions one of my favorite comedy movie, my favorite comedy movie, Doctor Strangelove. So, because Doctor Strangelove came out around this time, so that's fun.
All right.
All right, everybody. Tune in next time where we find Sokolov, and yeah, let's see if we can.
Hopefully good.
All things considered, this was a relatively easy mission. I mean, we're almost there. I mean,
It's the first one. You'd think it should be.
all right. So I guess we're almost done with this. I guess I'm sure nothing wrong will happen. So see you then.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
See ya.